Getting your property ready for sale is probably one of the most daunting tasks a homeowner can come up against. We're going to tell you 10 essential things you need to do to maximize your investment, minimum impact, maximum return. Stay tuned. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
How are you, Tom?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. You've had a busy day selling?
Yeah, we have selling and preparing to sell.
This is where I love getting your insights because you're the ninja. You're the
The ninja.
Novak guru when it comes to prepping a property to come, for sale. Obviously, you do a little bit of the admin side of things, but also offer some tips and tricks to vendors going through the process.
Yeah, it's a lot of what I do.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. It's a big workload, but it's quite interesting and it's fascinating to see and do everything we must do before we get a property just live on the market.
Yeah. Now, do you see a routine or a bit of a process that suits everyone, or is it always a little bit different for different people? What does normal look like? How long does it take to get your property ready for market?
Look, it's genuinely a process. There's a standard process that we like to follow.
Yep.
But everyone is different. So a lot of our clients like things done a different way than your next client. So you kind of have to manage that while you're doing your process. So when you go through your step-by-step to get your property live on the market and ready to sell,
yes,
you need to work with your client, and especially your vendors. They're who you like to be working with throughout the entire time, and that's where you start to build a relationship and kind of understand each other.
Now, I reckon if you're a homeowner getting your property ready to come to market, it's actually easiest to work backwards from where you want to end up. So we actually just had this conversation with a client around the living room table, dining room table, chatting about, buying and selling and, getting into the new place. If you focus on the date you want to be into your new home, sometimes it's easier to work backwards. And what I mean by that is you can then take into consideration your settlement date. You can take into consideration your expected days on market, and then you can take into consideration how long you think it's going to prepare to get to that point. So let's just say you want to move before the end of the year, which is coming around quickly. We're almost into September now, end of August. So you've got September, October, November, December, really 4 months. The average settlement is 6 weeks to say 12 weeks if you want, a bit longer. So there's
2 to 4 months just for settlement.
2 to 4 months if you're going to do a really push it out long. And then the average days on market is sitting at about 3 weeks for an apartment on the Northern Beaches at the moment, a little bit longer for a house, say 4 weeks. So you can pretty much start working backwards now from those dates.
Yeah. So if you're looking to move into your new home by the end of the year, are you saying that the time to sell is kind of now and within a month from now?
Well, you certainly won't want to be sold now, because then you've got to worry about what are you going to do for 4 months. But if you're thinking about making a move for the end of the year, and I can't believe we're saying it, you've probably got to be starting to have the conversation with your agent between now and the next sort of 2, 4, 6 weeks. I always think, like anything, not just buying and selling real estate, but anything's nicer on your own timeline. It's never nice to be rushed or stressed working towards a different timeline that's not your own. So that's probably a good piece of advice. But
you also don't want to feel any stress whilst you are selling your property and moving into your new home, which is part of what we like to do. We like to take the stress off of you whilst selling your property.
Yep.
and just leave the work and leave everything to us, so you can actually just relax and breathe and get excited for your new stage in life.
For the new move. Now, I know it's going to be different for everyone. If you're a bachelor on your own in a 1-bedroom apartment, it's going to be reasonably simple getting the property ready. But for a family, it might take a little bit more preparation. I guess the fundamentals, though, we'll go through really quickly. What does the normal sort of prep work look like?
So the normal prep work would be for us, the agent, to get ourselves into the property.
Yep.
Familiarize ourselves with what we're dealing with here.
Yep.
So then whilst we're doing other open inspections, if clients don't like that property that they're at, we can refer them over to your property.
Yep.
Then once we get ourselves familiar, we then like to get photos organized. We have professional photographers that are brilliant at their jobs. They make your property look beautiful online and let people see it for what it really is.
So for photos, I guess you're looking at sort of depersonalizing a little bit, taking sometimes the family portraits that cover the whole wall, maybe bring it back down to, you know, what's going to be fairly neutral, a bit of a deep clean, and a bit of a declutter, your 3Ds. That's where I would probably start. Trying to just make the space feel as big as it can, be as neutral as it can, will obviously appeal to the most amount of people.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work for your vendors too if you're looking to sell.
Yeah.
You actually have to take a lot of time to get that done.
Yep.
But then once photos are in, you can start to relax already, because then we start to order strata reports for units,
yep,
which are really helpful for buyers to have.
Yes.
And we also do for units and houses pest and building reports, which also helps with buyers. They get a better understanding of the building, of the unit.
Do their due diligence.
Yeah, and it's actually very helpful for the sale process.
So that's another one for the agent. I think in the meantime, for your owner, fixing any minor repairs, whether that just be fixing blinds, it could be fixing, small bits, throughout the property. That's, good opportunity. Lights, making sure the lights are working. That's a good one.
Aircon, sometimes a lot of aircon isn't working.
Yeah, your appliances.
Especially if you're in winter, you're not really using your aircon. You got to turn it on and you realize it needs a service.
Yep. Also sort of staging your key rooms where you think your buyers are going to fall in love with your property. That might be, making the living room and the dining room feel really big, or it might be, dressing up the balcony or the terrace or the garden or the courtyard a little bit, making that feel nice and homely. Just, I think, paying attention to what your buyers are going to love. Your key rooms, that's a really important one.
Yeah. Then once those reports are in, you're starting to get ready to sell. If you need a floor plan drawn out, we also do that. We get someone to come in usually at the same time as photos, so then you're not as disturbed.
Yep.
With us coming in and out of your property. And then once that's through, we then start designing a signboard for the property. We start sending emails out and newsletters of your property being on the market and ready to sell.
Yep.
We even do DL drops, which is controversial in itself, but we'll put that to the side. And then once we upload those photos and the floor plan and everything, we then get your property live and ready to go.
So how long does it take from engaging your agent, saying I'm thinking about selling, to putting all that into motion?
Well, that's all up to you guys who are selling.
Yeah, good answer.
A lot of the time, people want to just get straight into it and get the property on as quick as possible. So
could be as fast as 24, 48 hours.
Yeah, it could be as fast as 1 to 2 days. We can
from having the photos.
Yeah, that's right. So we can actually order photos for the next day if you're in that much of a rush.
Yep.
And if you're that keen, we then get everyone in. We get floor plans done. We get the reports done, and especially with those people who are in a rush, their property's already ready to go. They've already decluttered. They've already had a nice deep clean.
Yep.
And they're ready to go. So if they're ready, we're ready, and we can get it in 24 to 48 hours on the market, ready with your first open on that Wednesday or on that Saturday.
Yeah, we're lucky that we've got a really good in-house team. The turnaround times are very snappy, and obviously everything's customized to how the owner would like it. But I'd say the industry norm, if you didn't have all the resources in-house and you were relying on a photographer that's outside and a floor plan designer outside of the business, graphic designer outside of the business, you'd probably be looking more like a week or two. But yeah, it's good to have the flexibility there, and that it's not not a rush.
Yeah, exactly. And we have properties as well that aren't quite ready, and clients that are patient, where we then slowly get things decluttered. We get little repairs fixed, like patching up walls or doing quick repaints, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And we can ease into the listing where we get photos within a week. Then we can get the report during that next week.
Yep.
And it's all based off of your client's timeline and how quickly they want to sell or how patient they want to be. And we like to work with them as best as possible and make them comfortable.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think if you're working backwards from, say, end of the year, work out what settlement you're looking for. If that's a quick or an average 6 week or a long settlement, there's a block out of those dates. Then you can factor in 3 to 4 weeks on market and your prep time. It's fast approaching, but most people recognize that they might not be making a move the week or two before Christmas, and maybe not the week or two after New Year. So say from that week before Christmas break, and then through to the 26th of Jan. Generally, people block those dates out for their accountants and their solicitor and their broker to be away. Not their real estate agent. We're working all the way through, but people are sort of working backwards from those dates, and can't believe it. It's soon coming around.
Yeah, that's right. It's the spring market coming in.
Yeah,
and we're ready. I think everyone else is ready.
Anything else to add?
No, nothing else. I think we're good.
If you need any help, let us know, and we can actually build a custom outline of what needs to be done, a bit of a 28-day step.
Yeah, we can take you through step by step what we do and how we do it, and then we can alter and amend things to do it the way you'd like.
Yeah, but it can be I think daunting on your own, and a shared problem is a problem halved.
Yeah,
so that's good.
We're always here to help.
That's it. Have a good evening.
Good night.